Hello, I'm Harvey, host of Franchising Brand Stories.
Thanks, Harvey. Yeah, Paul Lewis from Pitman Training, Managing Director.
Excellent, and welcome to Franchising Brand Stories. And I'm going to do it. This is the show where we get under the hat of some of the best franchising brands in the UK and in the world. What Pitman Training is, what do you do?
Yeah, good place to start. So it's important for me to say, because I'm so proud of the business that we have, that we've been involved in training and education for nearly 200 years. So I haven't checked whether we're the oldest still existing training company, but I reckon we probably are.
History. I am sure your franchisees are very proud to be part of that heritage. I'm sure they are. It's such an iconic brand, and having been about for that amount of time.
Yeah, we definitely have educators, if you will, in our network. But it's more business people, Harvey, I would say. That's because we're looking for that profile. We're looking for people who want to start a real business, and something they can scale and grow. And as I say, multi-unit, multi-site is something that we're talking about even in our marketing. We ideally want people who are up for multi-sector ownership, because we believe it will be better for them, and we believe it is better for us and our network as well. So yeah, good question. Thank you, Harvey. So I would say we are pretty typical. As I say, I've been involved with other franchise businesses. So I think there is a best practice that we that exists that we try to observe. So we call it a roadmap. So we have a 5-6-step roadmap that takes people through that early discovery phase. So we have discovery calls and discovery meetings, like a lot of brands will do, and that's two-way, always two-way. We want to discover more about the candidate, and of course they want to discover more about us and the business. Talking to franchise partners as well, which is an extension of that. So we welcome, and because we're a physical business, we invite any candidates to come into one of our locations. Maybe they meet us at one of our locations. And what I should mention as well, Harvey, is we, as in Pitman Training Group, we have 3 of our own locations as well.
Okay.
It's very deliberate. I feel really strongly about this. I think that every franchise brand should have an owned centre or entity. I do. My opinions may be changed over the years, but I feel quite strongly about that, because you can speak with real authority, and when you set best practice and you set the standards, you can do it from your own your own business. And we invite franchise prospects to meet us in one of our locations as well, and have a look around and see how it's done. And I think that gives them real confidence that, wow, okay, it's not just theoretical. The franchisor told me how everything works. They're now showing me how they do it in practice. I can talk to franchisees as well to further validate all those claims and statements, etc. And then, of course, within all of that, we've got the franchise agreement being exchanged and being checked out. We're part of the BFA, full members, so we make sure that the franchisee goes and gets that checked by a franchise lawyer. Took a typical day. You've got an element of managing your team. That's that's important. In every location, you will have a course advisor, and that is the person dealing with inquiries and enrolments. So it's their job, as the title suggests, to advise people on the right course or diploma for them. And you'll have a learning coach, which might look like a tutor in other parts of the education world, but your learning coach is somebody to take the student and help them, guide them, and get them completed successfully, really, and answer any questions along the way. But we deliver self-paced learning. That's really important, because often people perceive that this is classroom or cohort or tutor-led. And it's none of those things. It's the curriculum is so strong that it's all on a learning management system for you. And when you enter that learning management system, it's videos, audios, and you're completely guided, and you can navigate yourself. And then if you need the help of your learning coach, then you can call them over. So we have centres for that very reason, because we want people taking their studies in our centres, but it is blended, so they can do it from home as well. And I mentioned that we had some founder franchisees still in our business, and one of them so this was actually Pitman Training Dublin. So a chap called Mike, he and his father had the business pre-Pitman, and they were, as I described, enjoying Pitman curriculum and buying Pitman training courses to sell to their students. And then when the opportunity came to join the franchise in the early 90s, they grabbed it. And then Mike's father retired out, and Mike became the manager. And then fast forward 32 years as a franchise partner, he sold his business last year. And Dublin actually became the largest and busiest training centre in our entire network, which may or may not surprise, but it's a phenomenal city. But he really kind of did himself proud, did us proud, did Pitman proud. Created a wonderful training centre in the heart of Dublin, massive reputation. And what was even more special was that a fellow franchise partner bought the business. Fueling our growth. I will say we had our best year ever last year, which makes me really proud. And we can only be successful if our franchise partners are successful. But I think priority number one is more locations, and we're not looking for we're not looking for kind of world domination. We know very strategically in the UK we have about 20 or 25 locations that we've earmarked that we'd like to open a training centre. Some of that is happening organically, so our existing partners are taking on new territories, which I think is great validation, and people are obviously approaching us to launch their own training centres. So that's priority number one. And priority number two is new curriculum. We never ever stand still. So just recently we launched an executive assistant diploma with fashion, for the fashion industry. So we're starting to really push our curriculum to introduce new career paths for people. So that will continue to happen. And we've just appointed a new head of education who's got loads of ideas and will help us to keep on developing. And then probably the biggest one, I think, in terms of prospective franchise partners, we have 3 or 4 different channels at the moment. Private individuals we've talked a bit about, businesses, and that is SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises. Exams is an inherent part of what we do, and actually a very lucrative part of what we do. And then fourthly is funded, so government funded, and we do a little bit on government funded. In the future, we want to do a whole lot more. We believe that's a way of doubling or trebling the revenue in our business. We've invested heavily. So our main investment last year and this year is how do we unlock the government-funded market? It's starting to bear fruit now in a big way. And as I say, I not just plucking numbers out the air when I say I believe we can double and triple the size of our business. We have to maintain our other channels. So throw baby out.